I forgot how to intro the show, but good news. Stadia is dead? Question mark.
Life support?
Yeah. It's in the ICU. It caught COVID.
It's hemorrhaging.
Yes, it is. It is in a
Coma? No.
Thank you.
Coma?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say caustic state, but that doesn't make sense. Coma works.
It's slowly degrading.
Just like all of us.
This is a philosophy podcast. Thank
you
you
are
for joining us.
born to die. And Stadia was created with a short life expectancy.
Here we are.
At the end.
Or the beginning of this
I
podcast.
don't remember the rest of the song.
I don't know.
At the end. It's a Sinatra song, I think.
Oh. Well, anyways, this is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary from the video game industry. And anything else that might pique our interest. And also, are we in February now?
Yeah. Believe it or not.
February 5th.
We made it past. It'll be, by the time this goes live, it'll be 1 month since the Capitol has been ransacked.
I think this is the day. Is this the day that Apollo 11 landed on the moon?
Ooh. History things. I don't remember. It's not one of the ones I remember the date of. Unfortunately.
This day in history.
Smoke alarm's going to drive me up the wall this whole time.
That's all right. They can't hear it.
I know they can't hear it. But it's the same thing like the Slack notification. They couldn't hear the Slack notification. Drove me up the wall.
Maybe
Anyway.
it was this week.
All right.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Okay. You say so. Works for me. You want to know what was this week, though?
I do. I think you're going to tell me.
Segways. New releases, Matthew. New releases were this week, and they include Apex Legends Season 8 Mayhem. I guess Mayhem is the name of the season. For all the things that it's on, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Control Ultimate Edition for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Cultist Simulator Initiate Edition for the Switch. So, if you're bored of your current cult and want to simulate a new one, there is a simulator. On the Switch of all things, actually. That makes it even funnier to me, I guess. Destruction All-Stars for the PS5. Luciform for the PC. Valheim for the PC. Odysseus Cosmos and his Robot Quest for the Switch. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One. Kinetic Edge for the PC. Neo Remastered the Complete Edition for the PC and PS5. Neo 2 the Complete Edition for the PC and PS4. Neo 2 Remastered the Complete Edition for the PS5. The Neo Collection for the PS5, in case you haven't figured out that I just listed all the other ones. Number 14. Re-Zero. Starting Life in Another World. The Prophecy of the Throne. For the PS4 and Switch. Those are the titles I was talking about last time, where it's re, because the RE is something, and then there's...
Yeah, there's like 800 of them.
Yeah. And Ampersat for the PC.
Yeah, it's an anime. The starting a new life in a...
Ampersat?
No, the 14. Re-Zero.
Oh, okay.
It's super popular right now. They're doing season 2.
It's season 2 and they're popular?
Yeah. Also, Apollo 11, July 20th. Don't know where I got February 5th from.
What history podcast have you started listening to that you somehow got to Apollo 11?
That's just some random incorrect fact that was floating around in my head.
I can't wait for the rest of the year.
It's not looking good.
Have you heard? Wasn't this September 11th? Matt, it's March. Your dates are gonna be all messed up.
Just end it. Just ended.
That'll be a new podcast episode. I just kill you live on the podcast and deal with the ramifications thereof.
It would probably be extremely popular.
Oh, for sure.
People love that shit.
Yeah. They're all about the murders, live murders.
Yeah.
If we videotaped it, it'd probably get even more views.
Facebook Live or whatever.
Ooh, Facebook Live's a good way to do things now, I hear.
Yeah.
Periscope still a thing?
I don't know.
I think it's alive.
Or something with Instagram. You could TikTok it.
I mean, seeing how I'd probably be going to jail anyway, I could Twitch it.
TikTok.
Ooh, I could TikTok.
Tic-tac
I could TikTok murder, put it to a sweet beat, and then do like one of those TikTok dances on your corpse.
Apparently, I didn't realize this was a thing, but like the hyper fast cuts is like a TikTok thing. There was like a commercial.
Hyperfast cuts were a YouTube thing in 2007, made by a man named Young. Oh my God, what was the joke name that they gave him? Young Maestro.
No, I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, you know who Young Maestro is.
I'm talking hyper fast cuts. Like they make everything look like a slideshow, but like a fast slideshow. It hurts
like the old,
my head.
Like the old school movie effect you're talking, where it's
but it's like really fast, and because it's high resolution, because everything's HD now.
Yeah,
it like hurts my face.
Have you started watching TikToks?
No, there was like a commercial, and it was done in that style, and I was like, "What is this? This is hurting my eyeballs."
Well, that only worries me for 2 days from now, which will be Super Bowl, where
and then
another one of those will for sure probably air.
Probably. Then Samantha was like, "Oh, that's like a thing on TikTok now that's really popular," and I was like, "What is wrong with these people?"
Anything to kill a few brain cells. Speaking of brain cells and dying, Google is shutting. I'll take odds. Google is shutting down its internal game development efforts and shifting focus towards third-party games with its cloud streaming service, Stadia. According to a Kotaku report ahead of the announcement, Google will close its 2 game studios in Montreal and Los Angeles, with roughly 150 roles being affected. Though the company says it will try to find new roles for those developers. Google also announced that VP Jade Raymond, a veteran from EA Motive and Ubisoft Toronto who was brought in to lead Google's internal development efforts, is leaving the company to pursue other opportunities. While the games development division is stuttering, the cloud streaming service Google Stadia will continue to operate, as will the monthly Stadia Pro subscription service. Google says it plans to start offering the Stadia tech to publishers. Any thoughts, Matthew?
We briefly talked about it for a hot minute via text message.
Yeah, because when this came across my notifications, I got the tweets from the sources that were like, "We're killing Stadia," at least our development side of it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I don't have sources. I did not get sent that. I just read I read a blurb." But yes, it
Are
seems
everyone's sources Twitter now?
I can't talk about my sources, Matt.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
I didn't say Twitter.
I don't want to compromise your journalistic
Integrity. Listen, games journalism is a thing, all right? You want to go down that rabbit hole from 4 years ago all over again? It actually makes me sick thinking about that. Can we please move on?
All right, where were we?
Google stopped doing development of its own games, something Amazon should have done based on our last story a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's better this way. It's better for everyone. I don't know about that. But, like, the thing with Google, as you know, is they tend to, do abortions quite often with some of their new tech that they doesn't take off right away, which this kind of is starting to look like that.
Google Plus?
But, exactly. But I think might be a bad move because clearly video games are heading that direction. And I think it would be foolish to abandon the streaming tech now and not just sit on it and let it mature. But I'm not Google. I don't have billions of dollars. I don't have the world's most popular search engine.
Yes, you don't. Neither do I. But here's what I will say, which might be what you just said. Because, honestly, I was half listening. The thing with the killing of the studios is, I think, something we said at the beginning, I mean, way back, was there was no reason for them to really try so hard to develop games for it. They should have just been a marketplace.
Yeah.
And then, what I said in the text messages between you, me, and our estranged third host, or random fill-in, somebody clearly saw what Amazon did with Luna and audibly said, fuck, in a meeting. Because the channel idea for Luna, okay, you subscribe, you have that thing, and then you add on an Ubisoft channel, and boom, there's Ubisoft games and all those things. And it also worked better in the time we played with it. So it was why they got something closer to being correct than you did. But I don't know, it makes sense to stop the in-house development, because we also heard nothing of their in-house development.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Which is actually an improvement over Amazon's situation.
Yeah, Amazon, which we know have canceled 2 things, have a third thing coming that we also expect to not work.
And they've all looked like garbage so far.
Right. So it's an improvement in a way, but we also know that because we saw nothing at all, that doesn't necessarily bode well for, I don't know how far they might have been. Also, Jade Raymond, Motive, and now Stadia. I mean,
Albatross.
You might not want to attach to a new. Go to something stable. Which, technically, I guess Motive should have been, but Google was never going to be that, in my eyes. It can be very intriguing if they stick to the idea of going to a full marketplace and reevaluating themselves after focusing on tech and marketplace things for, say, a year to a year and a half, and reevaluate what they're doing and if they need to get into the game making part of it. But they might find that they don't need to, or they might continue to kill it and just remove everything.
Yeah. They should just, publish games.
Also an option. They have more money than... They would have no problem buying a studio to do that.
Yeah. That's why I'm, was always confused on initially, was, why try to start your own from the ground up instead of...
With both companies, with Amazon as well.
Instead of either buying a pre-existing one or outsourcing and just being like, hey, make me some games. Here's a truck of money.
Right. Here's a truck of money that I know you guys have proven to make games before,
mm-hmm.
and I don't need to worry about spending whatever Google is spending, or if you're Amazon, spending $500 million a year on failure.
Do you think Google spent around the same? I think they spent less, but not significantly less. But
I think, I don't know how many teams they were really working with or games. I'm going to say less as well, but not by much.
Yeah. Because they marketed a lot. So their marketing
400 million to 500 instead, but it's...
Their marketing budget probably ate up a good chunk. I was going to make a terrible joke.
I'm so curious. What?
More things dying? No.
Oh, shit.
It's terrible. I'm a bad person. Bethesda Softworks announced that...
Our second podcast, Bad People.
Bethesda has announced that...
us talking about other things.
That Robert A. Altman, the founder, chairman, and CEO of Bethesda's parent company, ZeniMax Media, has died. Altman began ZeniMax with Christopher Weaver in 1999 as a parent company for Bethesda, which Weaver had started in the mid-'80s. The two had a falling out, and Weaver was out of the company within a few years, but Altman went on to run ZeniMax for decades. Decades. I don't know who this guy is. Like, I don't know. He wasn't really in the media too much. Video games.
He
media.
was around before I was paying attention to, ZeniMax or Bethesda.
Yeah. So there's some upbeat news for you.
We have weird definitions of upbeat here, but yes. They put out their messages and everything like that. I mean, it's one of those where it's like we don't really have anything to say because he was before the oil tycoon Todd Howard and Pete Hines and everybody that we know now, and we didn't. It was not part of my upbringing. Is that a sentence I want? Here we go, honey. Now go ahead and pin the tail on Todd Howard. Man, kids' birthday parties are going to be weird. Just like the now, I'm just picturing a bunch of weird, like very video game focused birthday parties, like Andrew Ryan and all these other. Andrew Ryan, right? Is that no? Andrew Ryan is the one behind BioShock, right? That's his whole name. Who am I thinking of? Andrew House, the EA guy?
No, we always fuck this up. Andrew House is the old PlayStation guy, isn't it?
I don't know.
The old PlayStation CEO?
Before Sean Layden? No,
above Sean Layden.
Oh, above Sean Layden?
Sony, I guess, maybe?
I don't remember anymore.
Andrew House. It was... Oh, my God. We always fuck these two
we
up.
Always fuck them up. I thought the current EA guy was Andrew House. Am I wrong? Is he the CEO? I know
Andrew
I'm wrong.
House is this guy.
Yeah, not who I'm thinking about. I think it's still an Andrew. Andrew Wilson. All right. First name right. Are you looking anything else up?
Nope.
Can you give me Andrew Ryan? And who that is? I feel like that's the BioShock thing. It is?
Andrew Ryan's a fictional character in BioShock.
Yes, that's what I mean. Okay. I'm pretty sure he's the one that in like 1 and 2, he's the entire idea behind the sub city or whatever.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right, good deal. But yeah, Andrew Wilson and Todd Howard and Pete Hines and Yves Guillemot and all these other weird party, like, oh, where's my whatever cake?
I feel like they're like I want
my EA cake.
An evil crime organization. And
oh,
they
very
get
much.
together
They're a step away from the villains of Gotham.
Yeah, they all sit around like a half semicircle table and like count money and like laugh about loot boxes or something.
It's closer to the. Actually, if we take that same exact analogy and we apply it to the Dark Knight scene where the pencil magic trick happens, it's that. Okay. It's them sitting around 3 folding tables in a crazy room where then 10 cents on the TV saying that don't worry about your money, I've taken it and hidden all of it.
Who's the Joker?
Who is the Joker? Huh.
It's got to be someone disruptive to the industry.
My first thought was Microsoft. Because I feel like they just don't care anymore. Microsoft is about to be in the line with the Joker later in the thing where he's like, it's not about the money. It's about sending a message. Step away from that.
Yeah, they're close.
They're very close to that. Like, I'm not worried about the money. It's about sending Game Pass to everyone.
So, like, CD Projekt would be like
they would have. Yeah. They'd be Two-Face essentially,
Yeah.
where they were the White Knight.
Yeah,
They were supposed to save Gotham,
exactly.
and they fell to corruption.
Yep. I like this game.
The beautiful thing with chaos is all it takes is a little push. You're trying to like compare other people in the universe.
I was just.
There's no Batman. The problem is there's no Batman.
There is no Batman. I was trying to say. I was thinking, oh, maybe the Joker could be like fucking Wall Street Bets or something, since they're creating havoc with GameStop. But that's too obvious.
Like Batman ends up being like Reggie or something. Like that's how it has to work out.
Yeah.
I like the thought exercise though.
Yeah, it's good to let the mind play.
As we do. Mostly. Never mind. I'm not making that joke either. That's going to be a really bad joke. Number 3, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating whether social media and forum posters were unlawfully manipulating the price of GameStop shares last month, according to a Bloomberg report. The SEC is specifically looking for people spreading misinformation intending to sway the stock price, as well as decisions from outfits like Robinhood to restrict trading of stocks at the height of the rallies. Meanwhile, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has asked the SEC and other regulatory bodies to discuss the activity surrounding GameStop and other unexpectedly skyrocketing stocks in recent weeks to see, quote, whether recent activities are consistent with investor protection and fair and efficient markets, end quote.
Yeah, it's been funny to watch that whole thing turn. Like I think we talked about it last week, and you're like, yep, they're just going to fuck us. And that's basically what they're doing.
Yep. They're like, huh.
You can't do that.
We can't let Reddit and the internet have fun when all the hedge fund people just meet in coffee shops and do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking idiots. I love that it's once again, the internet and its inhabitants are the bad people when, okay, if we just do this not on the internet, everything's completely legal and fine.
Yeah.
And even then, technically, legally, nothing happened on the internet.
Yep.
Oh, we have to have buyer protection in mind. Cool. Then let me do it. The entire idea of a free economy is to let me do whatever the fuck I want to begin with.
At least the memes are good.
Few people don't understand what the word free means. Well, you have your own problems. I could be here a while. If you remember anything about wishes from genies, you can't mess with free will. Whole known thing. Can't make somebody fall in love with you. That's one of the whole problems with genies. What do you spend the other 3 wishes on? Money.
Money.
To circumvent the love angle. Money again.
What would you wish for if you had 3 wishes?
Ooh, man.
I don't know if we have time for this.
That is a very...
Let me
tell you.
Because, like, the obvious choice...
It depends on the restrictions. Because there's always restrictions.
That's the thing. Like, the obvious choice is money. And, like, that would... I could buy a lot of happiness with money. I know they say that, like, oh, I have money.
Well, yeah,
because
but everybody that says that has money.
Yeah.
It's you ever see a homeless person sitting on the street walk up to you and go, I don't need your money because money doesn't buy happiness. And you're like, what?
And like, I'm naturally skeptical of everything. So like, I'm assuming there's always a downside. So like,
it's the old genie catch. So if you say, I want a bunch of money, he robs a bank in your name and you're now on the run.
So you can't be like, oh, I want world peace because like there's, the world's just gone.
Yeah, everybody but you exists.
Yeah.
Or everybody but you is gone. You now have world peace unless you want to fight yourself.
Yeah. I don't know.
You go for superpowers?
That's what my next thing was going to be. You go for superpowers, but like, I don't know.
Can you get away with wishing for more wishes? Always a question.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, that's just too
It is too easy, but does that mean if I wish for more wishes that you, as a genie, you have to go kill another genie to absorb their 3 wishes.
Maybe if you wish for more wishes, you become a genie.
Ooh,
that's the trap.
Is I just become the genie, so I have unlimited wishes, but I can never grant them to myself.
Yes.
Ooh. See, that's what I mean. There's a whole lot of I need a rule book for genie wishes.
Yeah.
For when this inevitably happens, and I'm now stuck in a forest with a genie, going like, all right, but can I do this? But what happens if I do this? Are you Robin Williams?
What type of genie are you?
Yeah.
Are you Robin Williams? Are you the Jinn from The Witcher? Like, what what we got here?
You Will Smith? Because that still is a toss-up.
Have you watched the new Aladdin?
No. Because if I remember right, we both agreed it was Bollywood Light, which disappointed me. And
it is Bollywood Light. Will Smith was not as bad as I thought he was going to be.
No, I could see that. That doesn't shock me that much, but I 100% want full committal to Bollywood.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they definitely leaned into it more than I thought they were going to.
Well, like the parade scene alone, but
yeah, the parade scene. There's a whole dancing scene. Like a crazy dance scene.
But there's only one? That's how you know it's only. That's how you know it's Bollywood Light.
Only one.
There's only one crazy dance scene. There should be minimum 4. And if they don't make a human catapult to throw a guy over a wall, I don't know if you remember this clip.
I do know what you're talking about.
They launch the guy off the catapult, like, and basically form a human catapult to launch him over a wall.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing.
It's good shit. All right.
I don't know, man. The wish conversation is always interesting because the wish conversation is a step away from the superpower conversation. Like, what superpower would you get if you had your pick?
I always thought a really cool power would be to control gravity.
Interesting. I like the thought there because nobody usually thinks about that
in such a way that like you could increase it and decrease it, and I feel like that's like a loophole because like you could do a lot with those things, being able to increase and decrease gravity.
When you say you want to increase and decrease gravity, now this is always the thing with superpowers where I start asking questions. Are you saying you want to be able to do that in a certain area? Do you want to do that planet wide, or do you want to just look at an object and say gravity affects you way more, and it just plummets and is stuck to the ground, almost like a Mjolnir hammer style, where somebody can't pick it up because gravity is so strong onto that object?
That's the problem because, like, at a certain point, everything just becomes overpowered.
Do you make a room just a vacuum?
Yeah,
where you just
that's what I mean. Like,
drop everything to the floor, or you float everybody.
Where are the restrictions? Like, how would you restrict that?
Right. That's like
because you could make yourself fly that way. You could just like literally crush someone into like a tiny little.
Yeah, but if you were to make yourself fly that way, you'd have to be constantly manipulating gravity.
Yeah,
like constantly doing it. Where you're like, okay, less gravity. I jumped in the air. Okay, but I'm never going to stop. Okay, slight more gravity. Okay, less gravity. More gravity. Less gravity. More gravity. Just to put yourself in like you'd be basically playing the helicopter game with yourself, where you're going through the cave, just a little up and down the entire time.
There was a hero in the TV show Heroes that could create black holes, which sounds cool.
That's terrifying.
Yes. Very dangerous. Kills himself accidentally.
Yeah, and also a black hole would, in theory, no matter the size, destroy Earth.
Yeah. I guess there's a little suspension of disbelief there. Yeah. They were like, little black holes, but obviously they treated them like
even in
power
theory, like if you had a soccer ball sized black hole,
it's still a black hole.
It'd be equivalent of basically setting off a nuke in a city.
Yeah, it's still a black hole.
Yeah,
like
it's still just going to suck everything into it.
Yeah. So,
including the person, holding it in their hand like an idiot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would just be making portals. You wouldn't be making black holes. You would just be making teleportation portals where you just put somebody onto a plane that you had no fucking idea where they went.
Yeah. And there's certain we are so off topic, and we got so much shit to go over. But at the same time, like, there's some superpowers that just seem like they're just like being able to read people's minds. Like, that is such a trap. Huge trap.
Entirely a trap. I think
flying is always a good one. Like, it's always a good classic.
Flying is a classic, not my pick, but I understand why. Who doesn't like the idea of flying? Invisibility always gets thrown around by people.
But also, I think one of those trap powers.
Yeah. The mind reading one is fun, but the mind reading one is only fun for so long because if all you're doing is reading minds, there's the idea of, okay, well, once again, limitations. Do I have to like purposely, you, me, I have to focus you basically to read your mind, or am I just hearing voices walking down the street?
Because if you're just hearing voices, then that's bad.
it's unbearable.
Yeah.
It goes to the Bruce Almighty scene, the Jim Carrey Bruce Almighty, when people are calling upon God and everything, and he just can't. All he hears are those
the
voices,
prayers.
and he's like, "How? Yeah, out of my head!" And he summons like Post-it notes, and the whole room is nothing but Post-it notes instead. And then he gets them all into email, and it's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
There's that. There's so many things. I always have gone with the ability to manipulate time.
Yeah, that's a classic.
But because people never, it's the same thing with gravity to an extent. People never realize the amount of power if you could manipulate time. Because, once again, we reach the level of OP-ness.
Yeah, like how much time?
How do I manipulate it?
And
if
can
I
you
just snap my fingers and time stops and I can still function?
Oh, that's... Do you
Like,
age, though? See, that's the thing. Like, there's so many questions. And then, like,
so many questions.
What if you could just stop time for one person?
What if I could stop time but reverse myself?
Yeah.
So I could, in theory, never age. I could stay 20 whatever forever, but watch a world go by.
That's sad.
It is. But in theory, if you moved around enough, you'd be able to live enough lives. Like, oh, I'm 20 in England now. Oh, I'm 20 in India now. Oh, I'm 20 in Japan. Like, bounce around. Or if you got real bored, you just time travel yourself all the way back and you start raiding with Genghis Khan and you give him a good new slogan that if anyone can, Genghis can, and you just run with it. And then you
good old Mongolians.
You get to roll back. You get to fast forward back in history to see if they have that slogan on a book now somewhere. Like, raiders were known for yelling, "If anyone can, Genghis can." Genghis Khan, what a time. Yeah, but manipulating time. So that's always mine because it's if I can stop time in theory, and usually if you were able to stop time, the way it's always usually portrayed is that the person that stopped it can still act and do things in it. Even if its time's only stopped for so long, or if I have to like reactivate time. Because the problem with flying is semi-time control as well if you use the Superman model. Because he spun the world.
So
time
ridiculous.
Control. So if you just stick with time control where it's like, even if I had a limitation, right, I can pause for 10 minutes, but I can still function fully. Okay. My money problem is fixed.
Yeah.
I will just rob banks at will.
Yeah.
It's a sentence. 10 minutes to just walk wherever I need to get through anything. Pause 10 minutes of walking into a packed convention center and I can get to where I need to and no one's in my way.
It's almost like a quality of life thing.
Yeah. Oh.
It's like Jumper, kind of like, that's like a quality of life.
Yeah. Like Jumper is very much quality of life.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just, I don't know. I feel like kind of going to Italy today.
Yeah. See, that's a good
I'm
one.
in Italy.
The Gravity one, there's no really quality of life aspect to that, I guess. Like,
it can be. All the cars in front of you. You're stuck in traffic.
That's true. Yeah, but not the same type of quality of life. Lots of attention with that one. The other ones you could get away with it.
Because I stopped time, and it would also be really funny, though, if when I stop time, everybody else is aware of it.
Oh, that'd be weird.
So they're just self-consciously stuck in,
they're just stuck? How many people go insane?
Oh, so many. Especially if they saw me walk by, and never again. They just knew they were stuck for 10 minutes, but they never saw me again, and they're like, I don't know. I don't know what he looked like. I'd also never not wear an entire superhero suit at that point. Just so no one could find me.
Well, if you have any good suggestions for superpowers and or wishes, let us know.
The time thing is always so interesting to me, because if it's not limited, and I get to just say time has stopped, and I need to go do something. Oh, I'm late for my flight. Time stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm on the plane sitting down, and all right, well, let's take off now.
Have you ever watched the TV show Heroes?
No.
It's an interesting...
There was enough I heard about it when it was on that I just went, oh, fuck no.
It's not terrible.
I hear the ending is garbage, and the Black Mist and everything else is also just garbage the entire time.
Season 1
Okay.
is safe. The problem is the writer's strike happened, so it kind of messed up the show.
Okay.
But it's an interesting exploration of the idea of powers and what they could do and stuff like that.
I mean, there's a lot to just be said where no matter what power I got, if I get to choose, I'm choosing my time thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what I would get, even if it was the weird, I'm trying to think of the other thing where they were like trying to make superhumans. I can't remember the name of that show. Excuse me. There was something recently where I was either watching it or playing it, and the idea was to give them drugs to unlock mutant genes, essentially. Similar to what has happened in X-Men for years, kind of.
Okay.
But like, okay, they might have a mutant gene, so let's give them something and see if we can activate it type of thing. Deadpool goes over this in a way. It's like, okay, so I get that. I find out that I have... Oh, fucking The Boys.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to think of like... Because I kept going back to Gilboy, and I was like... The Deep. I kept going back to him, and I was
like... What happens if you're the one with the big... the fucking...
The giant dick?
The giant dick. Yeah. The giant, like, elastic dick or whatever the hell it is.
Well, I think the idea... The funny thing about that is I think it was only his dick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was...
He could, like, control it.
It was control, and it was as he wanted it. So he could just be entirely normal, or then eventually just have a weirdly, tentacly dick.
Could choke you out with it.
Yeah, which he tries to do in the show. So there's that. Like, okay, that's what I get, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only one way to test things, and that's me taking a week off of work and seeing what this thing can do. No matter what the power is. If I'm lamplighter and I have to walk around with a lighter, but I can cause just giant, like, flame things out of my hand or whatever the whole deal is. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if it's that, okay, he can influence flame.
I think that's the idea, is he can manipulate.
He can't generate it. He can only manipulate it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I'm sitting outside with a lighter for a while and just shooting it into a fireplace. Like, what happens? How do I, whatever I'm doing, I'm taking at least a week to learn how to, handle it at a minimal level. I get gills. I'm going to the ocean.
All right. Moving on.
Super strength, throwing anything I can. Just pick it. I'll walk through the parking lot after work and just grab the back of a car and just nothing but deadlift the back of a car for a few minutes. Like, all right, I can do this. This is easy. Not even trying. Underneath it, I'd be stopping to help people on the highway so often. Oh, you got a flat tire? Let me just lay down and just poke one finger up and just lift the whole car up and be like, all right, just go ahead and change it real quick. Nah, I got this. Don't worry about it.
Number 4 out of
Yeah, we'll get there, all right?
Number 4 out of 22?
I'm visualizing my powers. 22?
If you include the short things.
Yeah, those are...
I'm padding the numbers here, don't worry.
That means 15.
Activision Blizzard reported record full year and fourth quarter results, thanks to its in large part to a banner year for the Call of Duty franchise. Company-wide, Activision Blizzard posted full-year net revenues up 25% to $8.09 billion. Activision division showed the strongest growth for the company, with full-year net revenues up 77%.
$10 says it doesn't next year.
To $3.9 billion. For the full year, Blizzard posted net revenues up 8% to $1.9 billion. With the most notable jump being World of Warcraft. 40% year-over-year increase.
Matt, what do I think would attribute to a 40% year-over-year increase in World of Warcraft?
You know what? I couldn't tell you. During this earnings call, Activision Blizzard said Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 will not be released in 2021. That one kind of surprised me a bit. the specific, especially the Overwatch 2 one. But anyways, and then BlizzCon virtual ticket details got released and can be bought now. And I'm sure you could probably tell us more if you care to. And possible thoughts on Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4.
The Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4, what is it, not being released till 2022 is the...
Yeah, it just says not released this year.
Yeah, so at least 2020, 2022. 2020. Oh, God, I just did... Now the years are all... We're now into the 2020 whatevers, and it's just going to really bug me until we're into the 2030s.
You could just say 22. Bucket. Just be like 22, 21.
Yeah, so whenever we're into apostrophe 22... I hate that as well. Where are they? You know that's
Overwatch 2 especially, like Diablo 4.
Overwatch 2, they literally said we're not doing anything different except here's a story mode.
Yeah. And they showed us stuff of it.
Yeah. And they, as far as I was concerned, have been working on a story mode from the fucking launch of the game.
I'm really confused.
So I'm very confused where that is. Diablo 4, once again, showed it and had playable demos last BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
Last BlizzCon, by the way, is in 2019.
And they've been releasing information on it pretty steadily. Like, it's not been being picked up by a lot of these media places and stuff, but they've been doing blog posts being like, this is whatever class, and these are its abilities. Like, they've been going through. And
Immortals isn't out.
I don't even know if they mentioned it because I didn't read the earnings call.
I haven't seen anything on it, and it's a reskin of another game. And it's in beta, and I can't play it.
I think this is a strategy. I think it's a strategy
I can't play that, by the way.
because they're trying to get people to essentially forget about Blizzard to get away from the bad PR. I think this is all a strategy. They're like, let's just create distance, and we have the added bonus of we can work on these games longer. That's my theory.
I mean, I think the worst part, I think you're right. But I don't want you to be right.
I mean, I'm rarely right, so it's not anything you got to worry about.
I know. Usually I get the corpo angles. I can usually nail down
corpo angles. All right.
Listen. All right. Cyberpunk sunk its roots in. So now corpos are language.
All right. Corpos. All right. That's where it's in the Gamers 2
vernacular
encyclopedia.
Ooh. That's about 3 pages.
3 pages. Whoa.
48-point font. Make sure you can really see it. And there's no explanations of anything. It's just words we've chosen. There's nothing else.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything that's too ridiculous about this. I guess it'll be... Did you read the last bullet?
Yeah.
Did I ignored you for that. All right, my bad.
Yeah. You're on your phone.
I know, but I heard the one before it. I guess I should glance over the other one. So yeah, the BlizzCon thing will be interesting because that is in 2 weeks, I believe. I believe it's the 19th to the 22nd.
So without these coming out this year, what did they show?
So, you say that.
Okay.
They show those.
The bold move. Hey, you can't have these this year. Hey, you want to take a look at these things?
Bold move con. See if it pays off. Yes. So I bet they show those. Stupidly. I'm betting they show those and Immortal.
Okay.
Because
maybe they do an out now for Immortals.
They might do an out now for Immortals. Or Immortal.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Diablo mobile. They might do an out now for that, which would be very interesting from a Blizzard perspective. Because I don't think they have anybody hired with enough rings and a cane to really drive the point home. They could dress somebody up like him, I'm sure. The other part of that is with Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. If you say they're not coming out this year, I don't think you can go silent though. I feel like I feel like it would be better to show something. Otherwise, you're going to have everybody going, where were they? Because this is an earnings call. We do this. General Blizzard populace isn't going to go, I heard they were year-over-year increases, but then they also said that Diablo 4 was not coming out. I went half Daffy Duck, but the majority of their, I would assume the majority of their audience that would be at BlizzCon wouldn't even give a shit in terms of it not coming out. And also, them saying it's not coming out this year could mean January 2022 if they really wanted to be finicky with things. Or they might say beta in November into something. Like, they might do something along those lines, right? Granted, I guess technically the Overwatch 2 beta is Overwatch. So, not really sure how that works. But anyway, I feel like they still have to show, even if Overwatch 2 is hey, 2 isn't out yet, but we're doing a lot of lead-up events type of thing. Like, we're going to something. Diablo 4, I don't know where that is. Feel like that would have been a good fall this year game. But you say, what else did they show? Well, Heroes of the Storm they killed, but maybe they show something there. Hearthstone for sure.
Yeah.
Still makes money. I don't know what their plan is at all with StarCraft. It's honestly so dark to me at this point where I was like, okay, 3. And they're like, but what if we didn't? And I'm like, all right, well, now I have no idea what you plan on doing. Unless they literally just kill it. Which would be...
The last thing they came out with was a remaster?
Was a remaster, and then they had launched their final... a while ago, but they had launched their final expansion on 2. So it would be a solid time for 3. I don't think we're going to get a 3, but, at this point, anything's in the air. They're going to show
WoW 2.
Electric Boogaloo. No. But speaking of WoW, my joke, 40% year-over increase. Yeah, a new WoW expansion happened. Obviously, everybody came back. Money. That's the joke for just if anybody doesn't get it. Speaking of WoW, they're going to show Burning Crusade Classic. I think that is officially happening, and I think they need to spend a while explaining how it's going to work. I think the explanation can be 5 minutes, but they're not going to ever do it 5 minutes because they're going to jerk themselves off the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh, have you guys heard of the Burning Crusade? And you are not prepared, and all that stuff. The whole thing's going to happen again. And everybody's going to just be like, oh my God, except they're all not going to be in the same room because they're all going to be screaming at home because it's all virtual. The thing with that, I'm curious to see is, are they standing up new servers potentially? Like, are they going to have classic servers, Burning Crusade servers, live servers? Or is classic going to go to Burning Crusade?
My understanding from when they launched Classic and talked about it is it's literally going to progress
the same
way. So it'll be Burning Crusade now.
Right, which is what my understanding is as well.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious to see how that all...
Because there is going to be
somebody will ask
a sect of people who are like, I want it to stay vanilla
right.
WoW.
Yeah. Which I don't know why you would ever want to continuously stay there, because you technically now have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Everything has been released. So I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know either, but there's going to be those people because there always is.
But anyway, digress. I think Burning Crusade is officially happening. There's my prediction. Also, they need to detail patch... I think we're on 9s. So patch 9.1 for Shadowlands. Because we will have... The first raid is done. All 4 Raid Finder wings are out. So you can do the entire thing by just hitting the group finder and going in there. So now we need to get to what's our next step. So we need to detail that. Are we going to, is there more story happening? How is this thing working? Are we getting flight at this point? Is there going to be another raid? Are we doing a mini raid in between 2 big raids? One where there's like 3 or 4 bosses instead of 10. What's the next step in the story? Because at this point there are so many options of where we're going next. I can't actually see them. Like, we started at the bottom of the tree, And now there's so many branches. I'm like, I don't know which one we're going for first. I don't know. Dude, I don't think you can put them all in one raid and just go, well, we're just going to make a taller tree first, and then we'll sprint it out. Like, no, you've already just shot. Doing a lot of hand motions, but I don't know really what I want to say other than it's just a tree built from the ground up. So those two things will be shown. It's BlizzCon and not Activision Con, but they could do something weird with Call of Duty. I don't think you'll see it though, because it is BlizzCon. I expect some like cross-game tie-in random things, because the BlizzCon ticket as well gives you an Overwatch, depending on the tier you buy, Overwatch skin, Hearthstone packs, a World of Warcraft mount, a World of Warcraft pet. Did I say Darkmoon cards, an Overwatch skin? I say Darkmoon cards. Darkmoon is Hearthstone. Heroes of the Storm mount, I believe. So there's once again they put Diablo cosmetic set, so like make yourself look different, but they said still coming. So they don't have the visual yet that they're giving away. So I was like, is that a indication of something you're going to reveal?
Did you say Heroes of the Storm?
Yeah. That's their MOBA.
Yeah, I know.
Uh-huh.
Are they still doing stuff with that?
Well, remember, they killed the competitive scene.
Yeah.
At least officially. They're still...
Maybe that'll get a revamp.
There still is a competitive scene, but it's not being hosted by the MLG anchor of Blizzard. Or Blizzard Activision, whichever one of them owns MLG at this point. But then they stepped away and they said that we'd still keep updates on it and stuff like that, but they took their major dev team away. And it's like once every 6 months now there's something. So there could be something more with that, or they could be revamping it to do something different. Or they could announce an entirely new IP, which is the real way left field move. Because you're coming off of brand new WoW with a bunch of people loving it. It'd be a very weird time to go, what if we did this?
Well, that's kind of what I'm afraid of, because so you come off of WoW, you say Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 are not coming anytime soon.
Yeah, what are you doing?
And then all of a sudden there's like, we got new IP. It'd be like,
And they aren't using Vicarious anymore or whatever for the Tony Hawk 1 and 2 are done.
They're a support studio.
Yeah. So what are they supporting?
Questions. No answers. We'll find out eventually.
I want answers, damn it. But yeah, I'm grabbing my tablet, but I am intrigued of what BlizzCon will show. I did not buy the BlizzCon pass because I don't care that much. I guess, just flat out. I'll probably watch some of the panels. I mean, intrigued to see how it goes virtually.
Mm-hmm.
The one panel, and I did just watch it from 2017, and I kind of skimmed through it, but it was the voice actor panel. And the voice actor panel is always pretty cool to me, because you are seeing everybody come out, and they're doing the voices of these characters that you've been with for years. And you're looking at them and you're like, that is not what I thought you looked like. Because that's not what I picture in my head when I hear that voice. But no editing or anything, and they come out and deliver a line and you're like, yep, I'm playing the game. I could never talk to you in real life because we'd have problems. Then again, I would also love to be that person. Matt Mercer has talked about this because he plays McCree in Overwatch. He is the voice actor for McCree. And he has done it where, at least when Overwatch came out, I don't know how much he plays anymore, but he would go into matches and mess with his team and do like it's high noon, and you just watch our entire team run.
Mm-hmm.
Because they forgot that the other team doesn't even have a McCree, because that was the call out for his ultimate. So McCree would make a map-wide announcement that you would hear it's high noon, and he would be in his alt state, which is going to basically one-hit kill you if he gets to lock onto you. But there was no McCree on the other team, but he would just be in voice comms and just say that, and you'd watch all of his players. He's like, yeah, you just watch people just start panicking and running to find cover and hide. And he's like, I started, I think it's an interview, I want to say with Danny Dwyer, but I don't remember, at a GameSpot thing at E3 maybe. And he's like, I'd mess with people and be like, it's 9:45. But it would be really fun in WoW if you were one of the voice actors in WoW and you're just in a raid with your guild or whatever, and they don't know yet, and you just are starting to drop voice lines randomly from other things, and they're like, God damn it, Sylvanas, fuck off. All right, number 5, here we go. Amazon's founder, CEO, and president Jeff Bezos has announced he will give up his role later this year. He will be replaced by Andy Jassy, who is currently the CEO for Amazon Web Services. Bezos emphasized this, quote, isn't about retiring, end quote. Instead, observing the change in role will allow him to pour his energies and soul into other projects he feels he has been neglecting, like his marriage.
I don't think there's any getting that back.
It was the only blow I could take quick enough to like think of it. It was an interesting move because when I saw it, I was like, huh, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Well, I thought the same thing, but I was like, you know what? If I had that much money, why would I be wasting my time essentially running the day-to-days of this company when I can just give myself a promotion to director of the board and do other shit?
Yeah.
With my money.
That's very true. It was almost like I don't know, when I read it, I immediately just thought something like the lead vampire maneuver. I'm calling it the lead vampire maneuver because I can't think of what I really want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But the lead vampire maneuver where he's like, I can only suck blood out of these people for so long. Anybody else want to like take over this whole lead in this group thing? I don't know, werewolves? Fuck it. I gotta go do something else. And he's just bored. Entirely bored.
Yep. That's what I kind of,
You only sell books for so long. That's a deep cut into the early Amazon days. Nothing but a book warehouse. There is a picture out there. I don't know if you saw this, but it's him and whatever his name is on an old computer with a bunch of papers around and everything. And somebody clearly has taken blue spray paint and spray painted Amazon.com on like a tarp and hung it up on the office wall.
Nice.
And it's the old like humble beginnings picture that always exists somewhere.
Yeah. And
then you see that and you're still just like, I don't understand.
It's crazy. Amazon's incoming CEO, Andy Jassy, how'd you say that?
That's how I said it.
Okay, I wasn't listening. Says he
touche.
says he's committed to Amazon's video game development efforts in a response to a damning report from Bloomberg last week about the problems facing the team. Jassy wrote in a staff email seen by Bloomberg, quote, some businesses take off in the first year, others take many years. Though we haven't consistently succeeded yet in Amazon Game Studios, I believe we will hang in there. Being successful right away is obviously less stressful, but when it takes longer, it's often sweeter. I believe this team will get there if we stay focused on what matters most. I don't know what the fuck any of that means.
I mean, I get what he's saying, but there's nothing better than the end of that quote, because being successful is obviously less stressful. But if it takes longer, it's often sweeter. And you're like, Andy, might have used a different line, but I appreciate it.
You're off to a strong start.
Yeah. Hey, if you keep giving us this quotable shit, I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It still goes back to the same thing we already talked about with we already covered that entire thing, obviously, last week, and then we talked about it again during the Stadia angle. New World will be a test. Because that is an MMO is a heavy thing to drop yourselves on. And in theory, the one you already released in Crucible should have been the easier of the ones to sustain. Well,
I'm not even
kind of should have been easier to sustain because Apex and Call of Duty and PUBG and whatever are already still are a similar vein.
I've kind of written New World off already.
Oh, so did I, based on what I've seen, but I'm still going to, when it shows up, I'm going to hop into some streams just to see where people are and see what's going on and be like, it's not going to entice me, I think, enough to make me want to try it, but I do want to just get a lay of the land.
Yeah.
I did the same thing when WildStar existed for a month. Watched a bunch of people play it on launch, and I was like, this looks way too much for me. Have New World open on one monitor and be playing WoW on the other one. Number 7, Quantic Dream is opening a new studio in Montreal. The new branch of the studio will collaborate with the original team in Paris and work on the same project. Beyond development, Quantic Dream expects its Montreal outpost to help the company in its ambition of being a global publisher of its own titles as well as those of other developers. Cool.
Another
one to Montreal. Ba-da-bum, bum, bum. Another one goes to Canada.
Nice place to be, I guess.
Well, didn't Stadia just close a studio in Montreal? So, hey, there's a new one open.
Take their digs.
It's already outfitted for technical development.
Sony announced that MLB The Show 21 will release on April 20th, 420 Blaze It, on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. This is the first entry in the MLB The Show series that will release on Microsoft's home consoles, but Sony isn't just offering the game on the Xbox for the first time. MLB The Show 21 will also support full cross-platform progression, cross-saves, and online multiplayer between PlayStation and Xbox consoles. The MLB The Show 21 will retail for different prices depending on which version you buy. If you get the standard edition on PS4 or Xbox One, it will cost $60. On PS5 and Xbox Series, it'll cost $70. If you purchase the standard edition on last gen, you won't be able to upgrade your copy of the game to the PS5 or Xbox Series versions. However, Sony's FAQ page revealed that if you buy the collector's edition of MLB The Show 21, you'll receive both the current and next-gen versions of the game. Sony also announced 3 different collector's editions for the MLB The Show 21. The Jackie Robinson edition for $85, the Digital Deluxe edition for $100, and the Jackie Robinson Deluxe edition for $100. Which I don't, those prices aren't right, are they? Mm-hmm. Okay. Each version includes both a current gen copy of the game and a redeemable code for a digital next gen copy of the game. The collector's edition will launch 4 days early on April 16th. The show got its cover athlete as well. And Nate's going to go from here.
Read it. No, you wrote it.
Jake sucks.
Jake sucks. It's the only way we can do this. Good old John Boy shout out. Baseball news gets written in. Jake sucks.
Baseball is fun.
Baseball is fun. Baseball's hot in the streets. Add that one in. The
cover athlete
is Fernando Tatis Jr., shortstop of the San Diego Padres.
Makes sense.
Good trailer video, I think. Him breaking the unwritten rules, which goes back to him smashing the grand slam
there
against Texas, which I love every second of. It's very funny.
That's a dumb rule. Unwritten rule.
Oh, it's hysterical because it goes back to the coach that got mad also did basically the same thing in a different game, and it's like, what, are you already stupid? Do you think we don't have the internet? We look everything up, dumbass. Sorry, your team sucks. Anyway, big fan of Fernando Tatis Jr.
Hmm.
Great shortstop, a lot of fun to watch. That being said, solid. Also, good cover choice. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
In terms of you want year-over-year excitement. Like, yes, Mike Trout's the best player in the game. Nobody's really going to debate that. And people do debate it stupidly, but whatever. He's the best player in the game, but you want the one that's grabbing the headlines to promote cover athlete things.
Yeah. You got to have personalities around these
around sports titles to get the kids buying the game. The thing I hated, as Matt read, was that they said current gen and next gen. It is current gen and old gen. We have moved on. We are in January. We're in February. We move on, people.
Yeah.
PS5s and Xbox Series X's and S's are current gen. Old gen is PS4 and Xbox One. That being said, I'm also pumped to see it on Xbox. We knew this was coming. We talked about this when the news broke last year sometime, I believe.
It's just real now.
Now it exists.
Seeing the MLB The Show 21 cover art on an Xbox case.
Yeah, on an Xbox case, and you're like,
it's real weird.
Wait, why is the show green? It's never been green. It's always blue or gray.
It's real weird.
I know people, and you said you had people as well that are super pumped for it. I know one of my coworkers is going to be absolutely pumped because he's an Xbox person.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not stuck with RBI baseball anymore. Good news. But yeah, that's really it. I'm pumped. It's
Jackie Robinson Foundation thing. Didn't mention.
Yes, so the Jackie Robinson Foundation. Any of the covers that feature Jackie Robinson, which is the $85 one or the $200 options, any version of those that is bought between now, because pre-orders are up, between now and December 31st of this year, any version of that will get $1. Sony's going to donate $1 per copy sold of those three versions to the Jackie Robinson Foundation for, I can't remember the name of their program, Scholars Program, I believe. But could end up being a significant amount of money. I wanted to see it be $5 instead of $1, but that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped. It can be annoying if you're trying to figure out what you're going to get per version. So go to theshow.com or whatever the name of the site is. It might not be that. Google MLB The Show and then go to the site from there. Don't go to theshow.com. I don't remember if that's the link or not. Go there. They have all the things broken down, and then it either says get physical or get digital. And when you click on one of whichever version you're looking at, physical, digital, and then you press whichever version being the $85, $100, $70, $60, whatever, click on physical underneath that, and it'll show you everything you're getting for the physical version. If you click on digital, it'll show you everything you're getting for the digital one. Because, yeah, some of the higher cost ones come with a steelbook. But if you're getting the digital one, you're not going to get the steelbook, obviously, because you're not getting a disc. Stuff like that. But it can be a little bit annoying to get a true understanding of what you're getting until you actually just click on things.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. April 20th is a ways away, though. I will be getting it April 16th because I pre-order because I play that game way too much throughout the year. So I'll be playing it on that Friday before we record. I hope I have that Friday off. Might take that Friday off now that I think about it, in case I don't.
I think it'll get here sooner than we think.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're already in February, so I have a strong feeling of the same thing. And hopefully we're already at that point 16 to 20 days into a baseball season, so I'll be able to watch real baseball as well. Because baseball is supposed to start their season on April 1st. Good joke, right? April Fool's Day. But
We'll
they're
see.
supposed to start then. Number 9. Electronic Arts has signed a multi-year agreement with the European Football Association, which gives it exclusive rights to the Champions League as well as the Europa League and the Super Cup. EA took this opportunity to also announce that FIFA will make its debut on Google's Stadia streaming service this year, with FIFA 21 launching on March 17th. FIFA 21 already exists. Oh, okay. FIFA 21 is making its debut on Stadia on March 17th. Got it. EA also announced a number of other expansions for the FIFA franchise, including the addition of 15 markets to free-to-play PC offering FIFA Online 4. What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know either. I don't know what any of this is.
Finally, EA said it has 6 mobile FIFA titles in development, ranging from simulation to unique arcade formats, offering new ways to play for everyone. So, the way that I read all of this is they offer a number of... Okay, so I'm guessing that there's a free-to-play PC offering called FIFA Online 4, and when they said they added 15 markets to it, they mean they added 15 leagues.
Sure.
Like 15 world leagues to that pool of players. Also, they have 6 mobile FIFA titles in development, ranging from simulation. So I guess what they are trying to make is a FIFA version of Football Manager on the phone, which Football Manager on the phone already exists. So, and unique arcade formats offering new ways to play for everyone. You already have FIFA Ultimate Team on the phone, and I've already eliminated the FM one. So what are 5 other ways to play soccer that require 5 different apps?
Card game.
That's Ultimate Team.
Fuck.
Unless you're talking about quite literally a card game.
That's what I meant. Yeah, quite literally a card game.
Hearts, but with soccer cards?
Yeah.
So, funny you mentioned that. It doesn't have to be FIFA branded, but there is a soccer card game. I can't remember if it's not Topps. It might be Panini. But there is a soccer card game called something like Attack or something. Football Attack or Soccer Attack or something like that. And you have the player and there's numbers on it. I've seen the cards, but I have no idea how to play. Obviously, I don't own any of the cards, but I've seen them. But yeah, you can get a player, they have certain ratings, and somehow you play against somebody else that has different ratings and yada yada. So I could see something like that happening. But I don't know. Also, 4 of those might get killed and never see the light of day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I believe the simulation one will see the light of day. The other 5 might die. I think the simulation one is far enough away from their normal stuff to make it out.
I mean, it's just as likely that they will be dumb ideas and they will release them, and we just won't know about it, hear about it, and then they'll slowly kill them later on.
FIFA pack opening simulator.
Yeah.
You get nothing, but you spend your hopes and dreams. Literally, the currency is called hopes and dreams.
Yeah. More EA.
When you get nothing, one of the things you can pull out of the pack is an innocent goat getting murdered. And you have to watch the clip of it happen. It's dark. So funny, actually. I'll bring this up because I noticed it the other day, which I thought was a really weird thing, kind of. And it revolves around the trading card scene, I guess.
Okay, not goats being sacrificed.
Not goats being sacrificed, but the video idea did trigger it in my head. There's an NBA thing called, I don't remember what it's called. Not Top NBA. NBA Moments? No, NBA. It's something along those lines. But it's an entirely digital marketplace where you own moments. And this is fully licensed by the MLB and they run it, whatever. It's almost like a... Not crypto. Entirely digital trading card... whatever, but it's not cards. You're getting moments, so you're
like
getting
a GIF,
like a kind of like a GIF. Usually a little bit longer than your traditional GIF, but a moment of a clip from a game that has a numbered run of it, and you're buying real money to get these things, and then you can collect them and or sell them or whatever. Whole thing. I was like, what is this? I stumbled into it, and because somebody had put up, somebody that I follow on Twitter responded to somebody else, and the guy is like, "Oh, I made $3,000 on this digital thing to go buy a cardboard version of something else." Because somebody bought his moment for $3,000, and then he went and spent money on actual cards. But I went, wait, what is this moment thing you're talking about?
Fuck.
Because I have the Topps Bunt app on my phone, which is just digital cards. And it's literally just cards, but they're just digital format. And there's specific runs that show up on that app that you're never going to see in the wild because they're just oh, whatever, we want to do a recolor on thing, and it's just like, all right, let's just change Photoshop again and
Yeah.
release new things. And those, you can do the entire thing for free. People spend money. I don't understand that. But the entire thing's free because there's no way to redeem. That's the other thing. There's no way to redeem from the Topps app to like get that card in your hand.
Yeah.
You just have it in your little virtual bank and like, cool, whatever, there it is.
Yeah, it's like Pokemon, gotta collect them all type thing.
Basically, yeah. So I have that because that allows me to get the endorphin rush of opening cards sometimes and also not spend my life savings. But the NBA one where I went, wait, this is real money. This is all real money getting thrown around and yada yada. Like packs were $10 to pop moments, and I was like, what is this? Like I created an account and signed in because I was just so curious. But I didn't. Once I realized what it was, I was like, this is not for me. But I'm very intrigued because if the NBA is leaning into that, the other leagues might be leaning into it. Of like, or at least looking and being like, what can we do? Because then you would get a moment of that Tatis Grand Slam. It's like, I got all these different angles and whatever. And it's just, I don't know, man.
I just don't understand the way that people spend money sometimes.
Well, okay, if we want to start with that broad of a topic, yeah, I fucking don't understand it either. Some people also spend $10 on a Planet Fitness membership and then never go, so they lose $120 a year. Don't ask me. I mean, sure, $120 a year versus a $3,000 GIF, a little different. Actually, spending money on a GIF at all. I don't know, man. I don't know.
How many of those people forget that they got a membership?
How many people forgot their Bitcoin codes?
A lot.
There you go, then. Probably a less percentage than forgot their Bitcoin codes. Or a higher percentage don't go than forgot their Bitcoin codes.
All right. More EA. Electronic Arts revealed it has signed a partnership with the collegiate trademark licensing firm CLC. What's CLC stand for? Do you know?
Not without making a joke.
Okay. To bring college football back to EA Sports portfolio, because that's what we all want.
You'd be quite surprised.
I know. The FIFA Maker will now be the exclusive developer for simulation college football games, with development of the first EA Sports college football already underway. However, there's no word on a release date.
NBA Top Shot is what I was looking for. That.
NBA Top Shot.
I'll show you more of it after, but I need to look it up before I forgot. I'm very intrigued for the return of collegiate football games. I think it was a travesty that they were gone to begin with, but
doesn't this... I didn't look into it too much because I know that this was a hotbed. The whole, like, using college players' likenesses and stuff was a hotbed topic because of money, which I totally get. I get it.
Welcome to my immediate point. I'm not sure what's about to happen.
I don't either.
Because
I'm like
a bunch of pro players that were former Kyler Murray, Joe Burrow, a bunch of people that just made it into the league, like 1-2 year rookies, even a couple people that are like 5-year rookies because they would have been right on the last one was 2014, so they would have been right there. We're like, oh, I'm so pumped that this is a thing. Like, let's put some of us on the cover that didn't get to be on the cover that were, Heisman winners or whatever. And I was like, okay, that all makes sense. But my whole issue with the collegiate game was you should be playing the players. And I'm worried again they won't get paid.
Well, I see it going. I'm wondering if they're going to take the route of just not having the players in the game.
Impossible.
And they're just like, you're the team.
Yeah.
And here's a bunch of generic people.
So that's what they've done before. That's what they did in college basketball.
Which sounds terrible.
Which they didn't put names on. They were just like, that's number 3. But the problem with putting a number 3 on is you're like, yes, number 3 is so-and-so. And those are his stats. That's what he would be. But they're like, well, we can't put his name in, otherwise we have to pay him. It's like, just pay him anyway. They're
Yeah.
using every other part of him to make the game.
So how's it work? How's it work with Madden? Because I'm assuming they're not paying the NFL players, but there's probably some deal because I don't care about the NFL players not getting paid for the game because they're getting paid.
They're getting paid because they have a licensing worked out between the Players Association and other things. So there is that. It's the same thing with MLB,
They're getting paid
NHL.
indirectly, essentially.
Yeah, they're not getting like EA's not sending the player a check, but it's getting sent down through the league of we're paying for this, which then I think gets broken down into their licensing rights being paid for other places and everything else. But because college football players are not allowed to make a salary playing. Or an endorsement deal or anything, that's where this whole thing gets caught up in. And it's like, you're going to use them to make money, pay them.
Yeah. And I think there's an easy way around that, too. It's like, don't give them the money until they leave college.
Yeah, but still.
Or like...
give them the money then, but they still won't do it. That's the
Yeah. Or like, take the money, do the don't give them the money until they leave college and only allow them to use it towards, like... college institutional stuff like buying books and shit. Not that that's a problem for them because
I don't like this. I don't like the second part of that. You give me the money because you use me, but you're not allowed to tell me how to spend that. Because also, I ran out a full ride scholarship and didn't give a shit the entire time.
I'm on your back there. I got you. But compromise because this is the world we live in.
Yes, but that's a terrible compromise. If I was
not giving them the money until they leave college is
no,
that
part's
compromise?
fine. That part was fine.
Yeah.
The second part that you said.
The second part's they can only use it if they want while they're in college towards college stuff.
Okay.
Not like you have to use it for this stuff. It's like, but if you want to buy books or, like pay for some college shit, not that they aren't most of them on full rides anyways.
But that's the part where it was like, that didn't make sense after we're only paying them after they leave anyway. So.
Yeah. But even then, I think is unfair, but that's an okay compromise.
They need to
they're
be paid.
Getting the money.
They need to be paid some way.
Yeah,
not paying them, I think, is a bullshit thing.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be in the trenches for this because it's not my problem technically. But it doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it's not a hill I care to die on.
But it's bullshit to not pay them.
It's one of those weird things where you can't have a middle ground. If it exists, they need to get paid. If they're not going to get paid, it can't exist.
Which is my stance. Which is, it sucks, but I feel like they should get paid.
I agree. I definitely agree because these colleges and these associations and
billions
stuff,
off of them.
Yeah,
it's even more
already. Even not even thinking of just throwing the game out that doesn't exist.
It's even more bullshit how much money the universities make off of them, and they don't get to see any part of that. Which I think is also horseshit. Yeah. But if you're gonna rob them blind like that, pay them for the game.
Yeah.
Give them something because it's bullshit. But anyway,
it is.
I too far. I think it's mine.
Oh, you got the good one. You got all the numbers and percentages and.
Listen, I purposely gave you the baseball one.
That's just because you wanted to talk about it afterwards.
Hey, stop learning why I read certain things.
That was obvious, from the beginning.
Well, when I slightly scrolled my page on, I went, "Ooh, that's an even number. I'm going to do that."
No, from the beginning of the podcast.
Oh, well, yeah, all right, fair enough. Number 11, even more EA. Like Activision Blizzard, EA had a record fourth quarter for their revenue. We'll keep it short, and live services are still EA's bread and butter. Which I don't know if that saying still works.
I don't know either. What does it even mean, bread and butter?
Like staples? I don't know. I think that's what it would go down to. It's a staple you could have. But who really just sits around with bread and butter? Usually it's like bread and milk. Don't get me wrong. We both love some bread and butter.
But we're not normal people, I know.
Yeah. Also, be honest. I gotta lay off the loaves.
That makes two of us.
Their revenue for their live services went up 24% to $1.5 billion. And in case anybody's curious, that is only over the course of 3 months. They estimate by the end of March that live services will account for 72% of its revenue for the year. And they made roughly $3 billion from Star Wars games alone.
Which is crazy considering... Well, I guess that includes all of them?
There's 3 games.
Yeah.
But you're not making money off Battlefront. The first one.
No.
Because I don't think anybody's buying that anymore.
Not
you gave it away for free too much, and I think it's also only worth like $5 anywhere.
I'm assuming
Battlefront 2 still has loot boxes in it.
Yeah.
And then you gave that away for free for a while. But loot boxes. And then you probably were making decent money on Fallen Order.
The mobile game? Did they have EA?
They do. Oh, yeah, they do have a couple mobile games.
But does EA do the mobile games?
I believe they do, yes.
Okay.
At least one of them. Not positive if they do both.
Does that include the Old Republic?
Ooh, that's true. I wonder if that counts subscription.
$1 billion right there.
Yeah, that might count Old Republic because it does still fall underneath. I don't know why that's the noise I chose. It does still fall underneath their purview.
I don't know.
Like they're a district judge. What am I, an idiot?
I don't know. We're all idiots.
This podcast is going to have a hell of a description. We're all idiots. That's it.
Yep. Embracer Group, via its subsidiary Saber Interactive, has acquired U.S.-based developer Aspire Media by merger. The deal is worth $100 million, with $60 million paid in cash and $40 million in Embracer shares. Aspire was created in 1996 and has a long-standing partnership with 2K Games to port its games. It's also known for porting the LucasArts franchise Jedi Knight to PS4 and Switch. And the only reason why it's on here is it is heavily rumored to be working on a new KOTOR game.
Which is Knights of the Old Republic.
Yep. And I don't give rumors a ton of validity.
Okay.
But it was a Reset Era thread.
Ooh, risky.
Jason Schreier was involved.
Semi-risky.
Actively in the thread. So, it's a little weird.
Grain of salt.
Yeah. For sure. Just something.
But that rumored KOTOR thing's been going around anyway. So.
Yeah.
Let's get some silly stuff out of the way. The revival of G4, a network focusing on video games with programs like X-Play and Attack of the Show, is underway, as we've been saying for what seems like a year and a half now. The company announced today that it's launching weekly series B4G4 on Friday, January 29th, which was last week. The series will air... What? The series will air on Twitch and YouTube. B4G4 is part of the lead-up to the network's return this summer.
I think the idea is they're going to do it every Friday.
Interesting. That means I've already missed 2 episodes. There's already film adaptations of the whole GameStop stock saga in the works. MGM, Netflix, and a production company called Pinky Promise are all working on projects. That is a very funny production company name. I wish they made games. Just so whenever they had a problem, they're like, Pinky Promise? You gonna, yeah? Uh-huh. We gonna make deals? I like that's how they make business ideas too. Or like business meetings. Like, all right, hold on.
All right, let's shake on it.
Listen, we got no.
Pinky Promise.
Pinky Promise. Pinky Promise you won't quit this movie. Come on. Come on. We're doing Uncharted. Come on.
All right. Quick little things that we didn't write full paragraphs on. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, the remake has been delayed indefinitely.
It's because they had to start doing all the other stuff with Massive. Not really, but Ubisoft took on a bunch of things when they heard the Star Wars stuff got freed.
The Steam Game Festival is happening. I don't know if you want to wait.
I meant to write shout out, not literally shout Steam Game Festival.
Well, I should have.
I glanced down right as you were getting to it, and I was like, if he actually shouts Steam Game Festival, it's going to be great. Yeah, so it's a bunch of like 500 some odd demos, and I think there's developer panel things happening or whatever. But hey, a lot of demos.
Yeah. Rarity nowadays.
Seem to be making a comeback in the last year and a half.
Yeah, I like it. I'm down with that.
Hey, man, pandemics make you down with the demos.
Down with the demos. We throw that on a shirt.
Ooh, I'm down for that. Oh, you'll see what I did there.
Sony shipped 4.5 million PlayStation 5 units worldwide in 2020.
Yep. For selling it at a loss, and for in 2020 means a month and a half of shipping. 4.5. When was the window closing on their 8 million?
I think the quarter. So
And end of this quarter?
yeah, so March.
March.
They probably hit that. They'll probably hit it.
They
Easily.
should.
As long as they don't have production issues, which they are.
And that is shipped, not technically sold, so.
But everything that's shipped is sold, I think so.
Yeah, that was the whole story. The whole story was that they shipped everything, but we knew retailers started doing a trickle effect because
I get what
Sony's
you're
like, we sent everything, and then Walmart's like, we're out of stock, but we might have some in a month, and you're like, no, you have them now, you stupid fucks.
Yeah. Idiots.
Remember what we were saying about the F word before, and I've already dropped like 5?
I did too, actually. I said it, and I was like, oh, shit.
I like that we're like consciously like counting how many we do it now. Whoopsie.
Sony patented a deep learning system for difficulty levels on boss fights.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All about that AI.
Sony Corporation has formed a new financial partnership that gives it part ownership of the Japanese media conglomerate that owns From Software.
Okay, that makes more sense because I didn't really recognize the name that before that.
Yeah, it's like it's just shy of a 2% stake, so it's just kind of like it's almost
To the beginning.
Yeah, I kind of equate it to like a hostage situation. So like,
wait, 2% is a hostage situation?
So like, in ancient times they'd exchanged hostages so they to reinforce a relationship. No?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but the idea of ancient time hostage...
It'd be like, you give me some people, I give you some people, and now we're guaranteed to be friends.
Yeah, exactly. But the way that you phrased it with ancient time is if that wouldn't happen if a war broke out tomorrow.
Well, they did it like willingly, is what I'm saying. So it's like Sony Corporation giving them money and being like, we're going to stay friends.
Hostages aren't willing in any part of that.
We're going to stay friends. Apex.
We just willingly trade hostages.
Apex Legends is coming to Switch on March 9th. Valve was fined $4 million doll hairs. Is it dollars, pounds, euros? Do we know?
Doll hairs.
Dollars. Over the Steam controller patent infringement.
Man, how disappointing have you got to be the guy that made the patent that they then infringed upon, that then they made a worse product out of, probably. Because that controller sucks.
Maybe. I just remember the video of them baking the controllers. And it was like a really fancy production line. That was so robotic. I was like, oh, it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Controllers suck.
And then they come out and you're like, what if we were a full touchpad? And you're like, oh, God, please no.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition is coming out on May 14th for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and is backwards compatible with current consoles.
Cool, I don't care.
So angry.
I'm so over it. I'm already over the Twitter conversation around the entire thing.
I haven't seen... See, this is the circles thing.
The best part about the circles, well, one, you're just not on Twitter, but we'd be roughly in the same circles probably, except you'd probably be just so far into history at this point with your recent trends.
It's too much. I had to take a break. It's just like, it's so much like death and just depression and like rape, and it's just like, oh my God, like I just want to kill myself.
That, history will do that to you. But apparently the director or whatever changed the scene. So this argument's already starting now.
Are they talking about the end?
Not the end of 3. That hasn't been brought up yet, but it's going to be brought up.
Scene. I'm curious.
They changed the scene in which one of the characters is, I think, talking with Shepard, and the scene is normally like a shot behind her, so you're looking at her butt.
She's talking to Miranda.
Okay.
And there's just a gratuitous shot of her ass.
Yeah, apparently that's gone now.
Oh, that was always kind of what was interesting about that they would do with her in those scenes, and it kind of made sense because it was like she was like supposed to be like basically genetically enhanced, like she was made to be perfect,
right?
Which it like fed into that because she was like overtly sexually attractive. So like,
wasn't the whole thing also like that she doesn't want it?
She just had that attitude, like that
Yeah.
hard attitude.
But either way, that scene is gone, which was
That's unfortunate.
watching people fight on Twitter about
Yeah,
censorship and bullshit. And it's like, you just want to see a nice ass.
I get it. I mean, it's made
Game
in a
direct-
different time. They're not necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not necessarily equal. Like it's not like we're. Well, I don't know. You do see Shepard's ass, I guess. So I think.
Yeah, but isn't there also a scene where you see her, like full her in a wide shot?
I think so. I don't remember
and
now.
that scene isn't being discussed about like censorship. It's just the ass scene because it's literally nothing but her ass, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Once again,
Yeah, I remember that shot. I distinctly remember it. You see it and you're just like, really? The camera angle is straight up like panning past her ass cheeks, and you're just like, why is it like Shepard in the background and the whole foreground is just this ass? And they're just having a conversation. It's like very anime, like cheese, very cringy
I know,
Japanese anime.
Yeah, I know the pans you're talking about that way. Yeah.
And there was a ton of like smaller game announcements. I don't know if you noticed that.
Those are the cuts and stuff like that where you get an audible really out of me in the if we're like watching in the living room, you would just hear me go, really?
I kind of took it as like kind of funny, so like it didn't really bother me, but
yeah, a bunch of game announcements there. Stellaris, Nemesis, Airline Technician, which if we're talking about the best,
there was some good ones.
Total War, Warhammer 3 makes sense, obviously, and definitely not Fried Chicken. I am intrigued by 2 games on this list, and if anybody can guess, you win nothing.
The definitely not Fried Chicken, I think, is like one of those like strategy expansion games, like a resource based RTS, I guess. I don't know how you describe it. You know, like a railroad tycoon or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think you're basically trying to do like fast food franchises.
Interesting. Okay.
I think that's what's.
I immediately went to entirely something different, which is our new YouTube show, Definitely Not Fried Chicken, where I just hand you objects that have been deep fried.
That are definitely not chicken.
They might be.
Oh.
That's the idea.
You have to say, okay.
You're blindfolded. I
eat
hand
it.
you fried objects, and you have to tell me whether or not that is fried chicken or not.
So the first time I ever got a deep fryer, I literally deep fried everything. We deep fried a slice of pizza.
Interesting.
We were just taking things like, do you think we could deep fry this? We could deep fry this.
Definitely not fried chicken. That is a YouTube show waiting to exist. Yeah. So what do you think this one is? It's definitely not fried chicken.
That one's definitely fried roadkill.
Fried raccoon? Just feeding you completely things that are so far out there. I don't know. Weird consistency. I'm gonna go meatball. But what kind of meatball? Son of a bitch! I have no idea anymore. And of course, Airline Technician, because
oh yeah,
what better than being the reason a plane is delayed?
These silly sim games.
I just want to drive the fire truck. Is that so much to ask? Let's talk about some PS Plus games that have now been made available.
I'm really surprised there isn't a fire truck simulator.
There is.
Oh, is there?
Oh, there are multiple.
Okay.
There's one great one, and we watched a Funhouse video. It's emergency services.
I've seen
simulator.
that one. That's like based on like GTA 5, right?
Sure, that's a sentence. Kind of. I don't know if I would say it's based on GTA 5.
No, like isn't the engine like it looks like GTA 5? Is that the one that's emergency services?
I don't know if it looks that good, but yes, I know what you mean. I believe we're talking about the same video.
Yeah.
But I think you clearly miss or forget what GTA 5 looks like versus that game.
GTA 4?
3 maybe.
3. I think you forget what GTA 3 looks like.
Or sorry, San Andreas. Right, that's 3.5.
Yeah, I could. Okay.
Because it's 1, 2, 3 San Andreas, then 4, right? It might be 4. It might be 4. Or
I don't know.
closer to
It's
4.
not. It doesn't fucking matter.
Anyway, PS Plus is going to be getting games right now if you want them and have PS Plus. For the PS4, you're going to get Concrete Genie. My computer went to sleep. Is not the name of a game. But if you have a PS4, you get Concrete Genie. If you have a PS4, you're going to get Control Ultimate Edition. If you have a PS5, you're going to get Control Ultimate Edition.
Good.
If you have a PS5, you get Destruction All-Stars. Came out this week. Boom, it's available for free. Or, I guess, kind of free. PS Plus isn't free, so you know what I mean. Xbox Gold, games with gold, that's still a service that is still working in the way, even though they changed things. Don't worry about it. I read the article. Gears 5, available from February 1st to the 28th. Resident Evil, available from February 1st to the 28th. Dandara Trials of Fear Edition, available from February 16th to March 15th. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, available from February 1st to the 15th. And Lost Planet 2, available from February 16th to the 28th. And Prime Gaming has new things. There are also free things to be claimed on Epic and other fun things. That being all said, we'll check in on something else next week because I forgot to look at it this week and I don't care. So we'll do it next week. But it's been 7 days. Matt, what have you been up to?
Just life, Haven't played any games again. Doing my, my normal drought.
Ah, yes, your abstinence phase.
Yep.
Gonna be a few months.
Yep. What else? I tried a little 3D modeling, I guess it would
Blender?
be. Yep, Blender. Some other ones.
It's like the only one that I know.
Blender and then SketchUp.
Oh, Google SketchUp.
It's not owned by Google anymore. But
Okay.
Yep, same thing. It's SketchUp.
Yeah, SketchUp's fun. My buddy and I worked on building.
I hate it.
Okay, all right. Well, my
it
buddy. And
might
I,
be a lot different now though because.
Well, I say we did this in high school, but my buddy and I worked on building a replica Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
When it was getting intense.
Yeah, it's probably
a lot of polygons.
I'm assuming it's different now because it was painful. It's like not intuitive at all, and it was.
Oh,
Really
it was. It
frustrating.
wasn't great. We definitely had a lot of finicky things with it.
It's
but
like browser based now, which is I think really
no, not for the one we had. So yeah.
So this one's browser based, and it was it's just not good that way. But I'm making speaker stands, so
Okay,
I
so
was
you
like,
need
I'm
to-
gonna fuck around with this.
Need to sketch something up.
Yeah, and just fucked around. So that was fun. What other exciting things have happened? I feel like there's other things, but I'm drawing blanks. So I don't know. I'm listening to a lot of the history podcasts, as you know.
Apparently stopped though.
So much of it. I'm currently in the Wrath of the Khans.
We've come full circle.
There was so much I wanted to go off on when you brought up
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
Well, the moment
But I didn't want to go I didn't want to start vomiting stuff.
The moment you said Mongolians, I was like, he's either there in the history one or he's making a South Park reference, and I'm not positive which it is.
Yeah.
And when I say
intense.
there in the history ones, I just assume there was a Mongolian history episode because there's so many of those damn episodes.
So listening to the Mongolian ones and coming from I did Rome, the history of Rome, which was basically the transition of the Republic to the Empire, and then
I always love that that's how that's talked about because it's so good in context of other things.
And then the Eastern Front with the Soviets and Nazi Germany.
Also very, very in depth. People are like, oh, you can't go fight a winter war in Russia, and it's like, oh no. It is not that simple.
So much just death.
Yeah, that's true. You did
much
go
death.
from the Roman switch to the Eastern Front, which is a shit show.
I should have kept
then-
a running tally because I'm probably at 200 million deaths, people dead.
Oh,
right
probably at least. Yeah.
now. But it's interesting.
if you follow this up with Mao or more Russian, yeah, you're gonna be loving it.
Yeah. So I threw in some like hurriedly found like sports car podcasts to like try to brighten the mood a little bit. I'm like, what can I find that's not like?
Give me rainbows. I need joy.
Yeah. That's about it. Nothing really exciting. Haven't really. I want like this is when I'm not playing game. Like when I go through these droughts. Like I want to play something, but like nothing seems like nothing interests me. And I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, that's life for me. What are you up to?
Oh, there's a game called World of Warcraft.
Never heard of it.
And I've sold my soul to Seven Devils. They keep returning it, but what are you going to do? We are now 8 out of 10 heroic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I have 2 more to go. Hopefully we can get them. Power through.
Mm-hmm.
Strength in numbers. Loktar Agor, progression, whatever else we're going to yell. Excelsior, who cares? So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. And I think that's the only thing I played this week.
Lots of WoW.
Yeah, I think I played like one game of the show, and I was like, all right, I need to just uninstall this now.
Yeah, just wait.
It is now my time that I need to go purge it off my machine and be like,
you gotta go a couple months.
I need my break.
And then when it comes out, you'll be like frothing at the mouth again.
Yeah, and
because you'll have watched some baseball, like just enough to whet your appetite.
Yep.
And you'll be like, I need to break it. And then that's...
Yeah, honestly, that's basically what I do in my living room. I watch the baseball, and then I just become a rabid animal. And nobody's going to put me down because I live alone. So, well, rabid animal.
I think you're really underselling Max right now.
He's not going to put me down.
He will fucking murder you.
He will. But he would also just join me and be like
That's
real
true.
confused about what we're being rabid about. And be like,
It's true.
What are we hunting? And I'll be like, I don't know, man. I really want to play baseball. It's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of I played the one game, but it's because every time I go down to the PlayStation, I'm like, all right, cool, let's play some Assassin's Creed. And then I'm like, I don't really feel like I want to, so maybe I'll play some baseball. Then I find out that I really went down there and I had no intention of playing anything. So I throw YouTube on the TV and take a nap.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with napping. I love a good nap. But every time I've gone down there, I've just been like, oh, I'm down here because I'm tired and I'm exhausted. And I didn't want to sit here anymore because I can only sit here for so long. Like, I need to move myself and go around places.
I get it.
And I can't go to my bed. I have a weird thing about, like, napping in my bed.
Mm-hmm.
It's
a different type of sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when you nap in your bed, you wake up and you're like, you feel groggy, you're confused, you don't know what time it is.
You're accepting defeat.
Yeah. Whereas you nap on your couch or wherever, you can get up and you'll be like, all right, well, that was a nap. Now, like, let's go on with my life.
Yeah. And, I mean, when I was redoing the Master, that was a confusing week of I would wake up on the couch in the morning and be like, this has been like a couple hours, 8 hours. Oh,
it's like the reverse of napping in your.
It was the reverse of napping in my bedroom, but now, and I also usually can only sleep. Luckily, that week was fine, but I'm usually only out for a couple hours at most on that couch.
Mm-hmm.
Usually 2 hours is my max on that couch.
Yeah, in
terms of like a consistent non-wake up sleep. So it works out perfectly for naps. About 2 hours, and I wake up and I'm like, guess I gotta go do something. And I can go back about whatever I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But like sitting in here, I mean, chairs are fine. I'm comfortable or whatever. But eventually there gets to a point where it's like, I can't look at my monitor anymore. I need to go do something. And so I'll either go work out or I'll go wander around. I'll go do a chore. I'll go do something else just to break it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, been a lot of WoW. That's really been it. Yeah.
Yeah. Boring week.
Work. Yeah. Tried to not get entirely angry at work things, but I did notice my blood pressure rising out throughout the week, probably. But then I just I hit a wall on Thursday and went, you know what? Nah,
Fuck it.
Not my problem. It was building because I could feel it happening throughout the week, where it was reaching like my target levels of just annoyance, which usually with those reached a boiling point where I was like, I'm going to snap, and I did numerous times. I mean, not snap. We both had our moments, obviously, but my snapping was usually in a different way.
Yeah,
of just I'm gonna go piss off somebody in leadership, and they're gonna get angry at me, and well, yeah. I know what I did. Usually how that worked. But I could just feel my like chest feeling different as the time I would read an email from somebody and I immediately would spark just the anger, and I was like, nope.
It's not worth it.
Not my problem. Nope. I'm not getting mad in my own house over their incompetence. Not doing it. Just wash it away. So I had the good old, my realization moments of just, usraba. I was like, oh man, that email.
So you're saying we need to get you a stress ball?
No, I've never found stress balls to really like help because squeezing it does nothing. If I could constantly throw it, it would be better. Like if I had a fake pitching like area in the garage, kind of like a faux mound and a tarp that was wide enough that I would feel confident throwing something at it and not missing the tarp.
Yeah,
I'd probably sit out there for days.
Oh, you just got to.
Mind you, I've never pitched. The one time I did pitch, I think I threw 11 pitches. Rough number. I hit 2 people. I walked the other one because I couldn't throw the strike zone. So I said, I'm good. Never again. Fine with it. I was a kid in Little League, and coach brought me in. He's like, oh yeah, sure, we'll see if you can pitch. Why not? I tried it. I hit the 2 kids, walked the other one, and then he's like, all right, well, we got to stop this. So I went back to first, and I remember just being on first and being like, do not ball your eyes out in the middle of this field right now. Because I was defeated.
As a kid would be.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even throwing that hard, and I hit 2 kids. I wish I had thrown harder. I think I threw maybe 1 strike, and I was just like, worst position on the field. Play anywhere else. Not pitcher. But either way.
You got to find out.
That's true. There's only one way to find out. It's very different. It's one thing, if you're playing catch with somebody, and somebody goes down in the catcher squat, you're like, oh yeah, cool, I can throw. I can do that. Your mind changes when a batter steps in.
Well, yeah.
And then you're like, ooh, I can't only not hit them, they can't hit this ball. So what if I just throw it nowhere near them? Oh, I walked them? Ah, shit. Oh, I hit them? They should have been that close. There were a lot of justification thoughts in my head through the entire thing. But it was an entirely terrible experience, and I wish I never did it in some ways. I'm happy I never did again, I'll say that. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. All right, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. 7 days. Have fun. Be ready for BlizzCon talk in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.